Almost everyone uses AI for email marketing, but they keep limiting themselves to just writing subject lines and nothing else. And that's the biggest reason competitors with a worse product keep getting more sales than you. What actually decides whether an email makes you money is who it goes to and when it arrives. And that's the part almost nobody talks about. So in this video, I'll show you exactly how to put AI on the parts that actually move the numbers, plus the mistakes that are killing your results right now, so you can get ahead of the people you're competing with. Before we get started, every step I'm going to show you happens in Omnisend, and if you want to follow along, click the link below. Now, the first thing that moves the numbers has nothing to do with the words AI writes for you, but it's who your email is even going to in the first place. Because let's start exactly where almost everyone else does, including the people you're competing with the one thing AI is already great at, writing the words. I open up a new campaign, and right here I can have Omnisend write the whole email for me, the subject line and the copy, from one short prompt. And it's good. In a few seconds, I've got a subject line and a full email without typing a word myself. But this is exactly where most people stop when it's the least important thing AI can do for your email, because the subject line was never what's failing you. Sending that same generic email to everyone is. The person who bought from you last week and the person who hasn't opened anything in a year don't want the same message. And the moment you treat them as one audience, your open rates slide and more of them start marking you as spam until eventually the whole list just stops opening anything from you. Now, the only reason blasting everyone is still so common is that building a proper segment used to be a real hassle. You'd sit there stacking filter rules. Open this, clicked that, bought in the last 90 days. And if you got one condition wrong, the whole thing came back empty. So people just skip it, and the single biggest lever in email marketing goes completely unused. That's where Omnisend does it differently, because you don't build the segment by hand at all. You just describe the people you want in normal language, and the AI builds it for you. So I head into Audience, open up Segments, hit Create Segment, and right at the top, there's a box called Generate a Custom Segment with AI. Instead of touching a single filter, I type out the exact group I'm after. And the important part of what I type is that I'm not asking for something lazy, like my customers. I'm naming a specific behavior with a clear time frame on it. People who bought once, who are still opening my emails, but who haven't ordered again in the last couple of months. That combination is the whole point, because it describes a proven buyer who's going quiet on you, which is the highest value person you can email, and the exact one you waste when you blast everyone. Then I hit Generate Segment. And what's actually clever here is that it didn't just pull a one-time list of names. It turned that one sentence into a segment that updates itself. So anyone who starts matching that behavior next week gets added on their own, without me ever opening this screen again. So just from one plain sentence, I've got a tight, specific audience in about 10 seconds. The kind that used to take half an hour of manual filtering. But a segment is still just a group of people, and some of them are worth way more of your time than others, which is where the next mistake comes in. And figuring out which of those people are actually going to buy is the one thing you can't see instantly, no matter how well you think you know your list. Because this is where it gets subtle. You build a decent segment, and then you treat everyone inside it exactly the same, as if the person who buys every month and the person who's one bad email away from unsubscribing are the same opportunity. They're not. And scrolling through names trying to guess which is a waste of your time. What you probably don't realize is that Omnisend is already scoring every contact in the background, tracking how recently they bought, how often, and how much they spend. I head into Audience and open Customer Breakdown, and it lays the whole list out for me. My average order value, how often people come back, the average gap between their orders, and a life cycle map that sorts everyone into groups like champions and customers who are at risk. Now I can also jump back into segments and filter straight by likelihood to buy or churn, so Omnisend hands me the people most likely to purchase next and the ones about to leave, without me analyzing anything. And this changes how you send everything, because your best email with your biggest discount or a brand new launch should be going to the people who are most likely to act on it, while your win-back effort goes to the ones about to leave, instead of the same flat blast hitting both. Once you start sending based on that ranking, instead of your gut, every campaign makes more money, because the right message is finally reaching the right person. So now I'm not guessing who my best customers are. Omnisend has already ranked my entire list by who's about to buy and who's about to walk. But the catch is, even the perfect message to the perfect person falls flat if it shows up at the wrong moment, and the time you hit send wrecks more campaigns than a weak subject line ever will. And timing is the one thing you can fix without changing a single word of your email. So let's go for 9 in the morning, because you read somewhere on the internet that this is the best time to send your emails, and you fire the whole list off at that one moment. But your list isn't one person, it's thousands of people with totally different routines. Someone who checks email on their commute, someone who only looks at night, or someone who's asleep at 9 because they work nights. A single send time can't possibly be right for all of them, so most of your list sees your email hours after it went out, buried under everything else, and you never even know the timing was why it flopped. This is exactly what Omnisend fixes with an option called Send in Personalized Time, and you'll find it right at the review step when you go to schedule a campaign. Instead of you picking one time, you just pick the date, and the AI sends each person the email at the moment they personally tend to open based on their own history, all within 24 hours. It is the same email on the same segment. It just shows up for each person right when they're actually looking at their phone. Here's a couple of caveats. It needs at least 10 campaigns already sent, so the AI has history to learn from, and it's on Omnisend's Pro plan. So if you're on the free tier, this is the one feature worth upgrading for, because you're changing nothing about the email itself. So you're not writing more, and you're not designing more, you're just letting the send time match the human instead of the clock. Now that exact same campaign reaches each person at the time they're most likely to open it, and I didn't touch a single word to make that happen. And yet the right person, opening at the perfect time, still sees the exact same email as everyone else, because the one thing you haven't touched yet is the email itself. That same generic email is quietly costing you more than you'd think, because the people winning at this aren't sending one email to everyone. Every person is opening something built around them. So where it usually goes wrong is treating the content as one fixed thing. You build one email with one set of products and one offer, and everyone gets that identical version no matter who they are. The fix in Omnisend is a block called the Product Recommender, and you just drag it into your email from the Elements panel. On its own, it can show your best sellers, but the real power is the personalized version on Pro, where the AI reads each individual person's browsing and order history and fills that block with the products that specific person is most likely to buy. So one person opens the email and sees the things they were just looking at, and someone else opens the exact same campaign and sees a completely different set, all chosen for them. And the numbers behind this are hard to argue with. Around 71% of customers now expect you to treat them like an individual, and the companies that actually pull it off make about 40% more revenue from it than the ones that don't. One heads up for when you build it: the personalized picks only show for real contacts, so a test email shows fallback products. You have to use test and preview with a real person to see it working, so it's still one campaign going out, but everyone opens a version of it built around what they actually want. None of this matters though if the right people aren't even on your list yet, and getting them there is the part still done almost entirely by hand. Now, getting the right people onto your list in the first place used to be the slowest, most painful part of all of this, because the old way of doing this is rough. You either slap a boring sign up for our newsletter box on your site that nobody fills in, or you burn an hour fighting a pop-up builder trying to get the design, the fields, and the offer to look right. And a bad sign-up form isn't a small problem, because every person who doesn't sign up is someone you can never segment, never personalize, and never sell to again. So Omnisend built an AI form assistant that turns the whole thing around. You describe the pop-up you want in one sentence, and it builds the entire form for you: the design, the layout, the fields, and the copy all match to your brand. Instead of dragging boxes around for an hour, I just tell it exactly what I want. The bits that actually matter here are the offer and the fields. I'm telling it to give first-time visitors a specific discount and grab the email and the first name, because the more you know about someone, the more you can tailor what you send them later. And it gets you about 80% of the way there instantly. A real branded pop-up on message, the kind that normally eats up the better part of an afternoon. From there I can tweak whatever I want, but the hard part, the bit that usually kills the whole idea before it starts, is already done. So in about 30 seconds, I've got a branded high-converting sign-up form feeding new people straight into the segments I built earlier. Now you obviously don't want to be doing all of this by hand every single day, and the best part of the whole setup is that you don't have to. Now this is the part that turns everything you just built from a one-time effort into something that runs on its own and keeps making money while you sleep. Because the campaigns you sit down and manually send, the ones you're proud of, are not where the real money in email actually is. The money is in automations. The emails that send themselves the second someone does something, like a welcome when they sign up, or the cart reminder that goes out when they leave something behind, right down to a win back when they start going quiet on you. And I'm not exaggerating the difference here. Automated emails make up around 2% of all the emails a store sends, but they drive more than a third of the sales. Now, think about that for a second. 1 in 3 people who click an automated email go on to buy, compared to something like 1 in 18 for a normal campaign blast. That happens because an automation fires at the the exact right moment for that exact person. And it's the one place Omnisend lets you go even deeper, changing the actual content block by block depending on who's opening it, which is everything you just built, running on its own forever. So instead of setting all this up from scratch every week, I go into automation, hit create workflow, and Omnisend drops me into a library of pre-built flows, the welcome series, the abandoned cart, all pre-configured and ready to switch on. Once these are live, the entire system you just watched me build is running around the clock without me touching it. So let me show you what that actually adds up to. The basic version of email marketing, the one you started this video doing, is one person writing one email using AI for the subject line and blasting the whole list at 9 in the morning. Now, the proper version, the one you now know how to build, is the AI choosing exactly who each email goes to, ranking them by who's about to buy, sending at each person's best time with the content personalized to them, and the whole thing running on automations that never stop. That's the entire difference between the people wondering why email doesn't work for them and the people quietly using it to outsell everyone around them. And now you're on the right side of it. And getting on that side doesn't cost you anything to start, because this whole system runs inside one free account. And if you're already on another email marketing platform, Omnisend's migration team will move you over for free. They migrate every flow, list, and template for you. So in as little as 5 days, you could be paying up to 35% less without doing a thing. That one abandoned cart flow you switch on first can end up outselling every campaign you send by hand. So go sign up to Omnisend with my link in the description and switch on that first automation today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.